got one that can see.
Logic before authority. The horror of Babylon is dead. It has been symbolized, you might say, in New York City. And she was shown in scarlet. And her casket she was buried in was a scarlet casket. And she was buried at St. Patrick's Cathedral. St. Patrick's Cathedral is in Manhattan, New York. It is one of the most well-known, supposedly most beautiful cathedrals known. And they have symbolized the death of the whore, a literal, admitted transgender sex worker had a funeral for at the Catholic St. Patrick's Cathedral, and then they act like they were tricked and didn't know it, is what they're saying now. Let's take a look at just a little section of the funeral.
Y'all know what we about to do, right? Repeat after me. Cecilia! 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 Ladies and gentlemen, Cecilia was born in 1972. Imagine the shock and surprise. But I gotta tell you, there's something that's hurting deep in our hearts because we lost our saint. We lost somebody that we could call no matter.
Lost their saint.
What? No matter what time. But this lady worked so hard to make sure girls like me, girls like you, boys like you are safe, are grounded, are rooted, got health care, that sex workers are free. I don't know, y'all may have heard the story that Jesus ministered to all. Cecilia ministered to all.
Okay, enough with the blasphemy. To be honest with you, you'd think you can't be shocked anymore these days, but yet they still figure out how to shock you even more. Now you can see the clergyman or the bishop or whoever he is sitting up here on the stage in purple, arrayed in purple, and so is the man talking. And what they're doing here, guys, is they are symbolizing the death of the whore, aka Babylon. They're symbolizing it just like they did at the Super Bowl. Don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. Let me show you. Now, here's the Super Bowl performance. I'm going to mute the sound, and I'm going to let it play just a little teeny bit, a couple of times, and I'm going to keep stopping it so we don't get a pickup here and a strike. So he's going to point, he's going to be pointing to Alicia Keys. And she's dressed, well, actually, she's veiled in scarlet. And they pull the veil back off of her. And what do you find? You find a woman dressed in scarlet. And I'll let you see what Usher does, and then I'll tell you what it means. So you'll notice he is wearing a phoenix. The phoenix that burns every 500 years. And then they rebuild from the ashes. That's what he's wearing on his jacket. And he is signaling that he's pointing to the whore of Babylon. And there she is. And you can see that there is a piano that she's playing that you could say it looks like a lot of things. And she has a veil coming off the back of her that's floating in the air. And you can see that there is what is symbolic for blood on the floor here. And okay, kind of get the point there without me playing too much of that. Let me just fast forward a few seconds so you can get a side view of what we're looking at here. And as you can see, the veil is separated and flies away. And there's your symbolic whore of Babylon. And you can see it looks also like a wave. A wave. But there's something even more important that they're showing. And if you've seen the show on Monday, you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's take a look when Usher comes over to her and touches her. What he does symbolically to show you what is actually going on here. So we're going to skip forward so you can see a little bit there. Some of the imagery. She's symbolizing the whore of Babylon. You can see that she is dressed like a whore. She has a see-through top on, a lot of skin exposed. Her pants that she's wearing are skin tight, and she has a cape on. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep skipping forward here until he comes over to do his gig, which he's going to do here in just a second. He's going to serenade her for a moment, though. He's going to come over to her and touch her in just a moment. And there's your whore of Babylon. And here he comes slithering up. And watch what he does. See him caress her butt. Now watch what he does. Ooh, it's hot. It's on fire. The whore of Babylon is on fire. You see? And of course, later on in the show as well, he sang the song, Let It Burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Yep. So I just had to point this out. I appreciate Jeremiah 333 Doug telling me about the Whore of Babylon that had been buried or had a funeral for in New York City. And it's just about too much to handle. But yet, they did this. And if you look at New York City, this is LBG rights in New York City. It says that in the LGBT travel guide, Queer in the World states, the fabulosity of gay New York is unrivaled on earth, and queer culture seeps into every corner of its 5 boroughs. You see? Literal insanity. She even has he or it has a wiki page because they are a whore. Unbelievable. I mean, I know even the sin of being a whore can be forgiven. But what I'm really pointing out here, well, I would say too that she was a known atheist, okay, as well. Yet they were singing Christian songs, even Amazing Grace, during her funeral. You can find that funeral on YouTube. They streamed it live. Although it's going to make you sick to watch it. If you choose to, I'd recommend not. It's my job to have to look at this garbage. Not y'all guys's. But I had to bring it to you and tell you Babylon is about to burn. And that is New York City. I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And we'll see you next time.
I've got one that can see.
Logic Before Authority.